If you've ever played Crash at 2 in the morning and watched the multiplier insta-die at 1x, you had the same thought as every degen philosopher in gambling history. This is rigged. The house hates me. The algorithm knows. I get it. Online casinos, especially crypto casinos, operate in that magical twilight zone where probability meets paranoia. And Stake.com, the golden child of the provably fair universe, is the #1 target of rage posts, conspiracy threads, and grown adults crying on Reddit because Plinko didn't give them 1000x. So I did what any reasonable gambling tech warlock would do. I rebuilt their algorithm from scratch in Python using the same cryptographic machinery they use on the back end. Because if we're going to ask the eternal question, is Stake.com rigged? We can't answer it with vibes. We answer it with code, cryptographic forensics, Monte Carlo simulations, and the kind of math that makes normal people close the tab. Welcome, my friends, to a journey where psychology fights statistics, paranoia fights probability, and Mr. Pulte fights the urge to flip a table every time someone says the casino flipped the RDP switch on me. Before we start accusing anyone of running a digital witchcraft operation, we need to understand how online randomness actually works. And no, it's not a guy at stake pressing win, lose, win, ruin his day. Crypto casinos use something called provably fair, which sounds like a marketing slogan, but is actually a real cryptographic system. Think of it like this. Instead of trusting the casino because they say, trust us, bro, you trust the math, because math can't lie. It can ruin your bankroll, yes, but it can't lie. The whole system is built on a 3-part handshake: the server seed, the client seed, and the nonce. Each one making sure the casino can't cheat, and also making sure you can't blame them when things go south. The server seed is basically the casino's secret ingredient, a giant random string they generate before you start playing. But here's the key: they don't show you the seed. They show you the hash of the seed. Why? Because a hash is like taking a photo of something and instantly shredding the original. You can verify the photo later, but you can't rebuild the object from the photo. That means once Stake commits to a hashed seed, they can't change it. So if they tried to cheat you halfway through the session, the seeds wouldn't match. And trust me, if that ever happened, Reddit would explode harder than a 10,000x in Plinko. Here's where you come in. The client seed is your contribution to the randomness. You can change your seed whenever you want. And because the casino doesn't know what your next seed will be, they can't pre-calculate your entire future of losses. Which ruins a lot of conspiracy theories, I know. Finally, we have the nonce, which is not an insult, despite how it sounds. It's just a counter. Round 0, round 1, round 2, round I should have cashed out earlier. Every bet increments the nonce by 1, making sure each result is different even if the seeds stay the same. And here's the important part. You can't skip a nonce. You can't redo a nonce. You can't rig nonce number 52 without also breaking every result before it. Crash is the drama queen of online gambling. When it goes to 50x, you feel like a genius. When it insta-crashes at 1.00, you suddenly become a seasoned cryptography expert yelling, "This is rigged," at your screen. So let's break it down. Trained. Not emotionally, but mathematically trained, which is much worse. Crash uses a simple but brutal formula. That 0.99 is the house edge. There's no secret switch. No, he's winning too much slider. The game literally taxes you 1% inside the formula. If the math says you're supposed to get a 2x multiplier, you actually get 1.98x. Because the house always takes a little bite. It's adorable if you like pain. People love to say, Crash hit 0.05 times today. Something's up. Yes, something is up. It's called math. When you plug the inverse formula into the distribution of the integer, the crucial part here is, if the result from this calculation is less than 1.00, the game forces it to 1.00x. And believe me, that happens more often than you might think. Let's show the part that makes conspiracy theorists sweat. The actual Crash algorithm in Python. Yes, this is really it. This tiny little function is responsible for millions of emotional breakdowns, and it doesn't even know you exist. It doesn't target you. It doesn't track your balance. It doesn't have a grudge. It just takes a seed pair, runs the formula, and spits out a number that either ruins your night or convinces you you're the chosen one. Let's reconstruct it exactly the way Mr. Pulte did pass. Formula, code, and 10 million rounds of simulation. While people picture some guy at stake slamming a big red Insta-Crash button, the truth is much more boring and much more brutal. Here's the actual formula used to generate every multiplier, where integer equals the decimal value of the first 8 hex characters from the hash house. Edge equals 1%. If the random number is higher, multiplier goes up. If not, 1.00, and good luck next time. The integer can range from 0 to 4 billion. That single number dictates your fate. You run this with your own seeds, you get the exact same multipliers State gave you. If you were hoping for dark magic, let's talk about the Insta-Crash, the heartbreak multiplier. The reason half the internet thinks the crash algorithm is watching them, let's ruin that idea with math. Crash hits 1 point x when this condition is met. 2 to the power of 32 divided by integer plus 1, and all that multiplied by 0.99 must be less than or equal to 1. If we solve this equation, we discover that the integer or random value must be greater than or equal to 4,252,017,623. And since the maximum possible integer value is 4,294,967,295, that means exactly 42,949,672 values cause an Insta-Crash. If we consider the values of Insta-Crash over total possible values, the true probability is 0.01, or in other words, exactly 1%. Exactly 1%, not about 1%, not a 1% unless you chase bonuses, just 1%, always. Plinko is the game that tricks your brain into thinking you're watching gravity plus luck. The ball bounces left, right, left, almost lands in the 1000x, then swerves into the center like it has a personal vendetta. But here's the forensic truth. Plinko is not physics. It's a deterministic path created before the animation even starts. Every Plinko round starts with the same ingredients Crash uses. Your client seed the server seed, the nonce run through HMACSHA256. Then the game takes the hash and turns it into left or right decisions. 16 rows equals 16 binary choices. 0 left, 1 right. Add up all the rights and boom, your final bucket. Here's the simplified real algorithm. Notice what's missing: physics, gravity, chaos, hope. It's all predetermined logic wrapped in cute animations, so the result doesn't feel like a spreadsheet slapping you in the face. This table is Plinko's entire personality. There are 65,536 possible paths in a 16-row board, but only one path hits the far left jackpot. 16 hit the next one. Hundreds hit the mid-zones. And 12,870 hit the center. So when you see the ball drifting toward the middle, it's not rigged. It's simply following the combinatorics. Your eyes see evenly spaced buckets, your brain assumes evenly spaced probabilities. The math laughs in exponential. Reddit loves to post things like, I dropped 1,000 balls and didn't hit the 1000x. It's rigged. Here's the actual probability. So if you drop 1,000 balls, your chance of hitting 0,000x is 0.0015%, meaning 98.48% chance you hit nothing, 1.52% chance you hit the miracle. To reach a 50% chance of hitting the 1000x once, you'd need around 45,000 drops. At that point, you're not a gambler. You're a probabilistic researcher. Toggling low, medium, or high risk does not change where the ball lands. The hash decides the bucket. Risk only decides how rewarding or punishing that bucket is. Players think high risk is rigged because their bankroll melts faster. But the algorithm is identical. You're just giving probability more ways to ruin your day. Plinko isn't some mystical bouncing ball physics simulation. It's a binary decision tree wearing a friendly animation. So I did what every player thinks about doing after a bad session, but never actually does. I rebuilt the entire stake algorithm in Python, from scratch, line by line. Combine seeds plus nonce hash, convert first 8 hex characters to a number, apply the crash formula, max with 1.00 to allow Insta-Crash, that's your multiplier. Hash into bytes, first 16 bytes into left-right decisions, sum rights into bucket index into payout table. Same seeds equal to same results, always and forever. Players often claim, the casino forced me into a losing streak. So we took actual data from 50 consecutive losing crash bets provided by different players who swore the game was rigged. We plugged the revealed server seed, their client seed, every nonce in order into the Python script. What happened? Every single multiplier matched, exactly, round for round. If stake had changed even one multiplier, the hash chain wouldn't match the server seed, wouldn't verify, the entire session would expose itself instantly, but everything matched perfectly. At this point, the math checks out, the code checks out, and the seeds verified perfectly. So why do so many players still feel like the game is out to get them? Simple. Our brains were not designed for randomness, especially when money's involved. We also need to ask, if someone wanted to cheat, where could they even try? There is a moment of theoretical vulnerability between sessions. When your session ends, they generate a new server seed for the next one. In theory, not practice, theory. A malicious operator could do this. Look at your current client seed, simulate how the next server seed would behave. Sounds scary, but here's why it doesn't matter. 1. You can change your client seed at any time. The casino has no idea what your next seed will be. 2. You should always rotate seeds anyway. 1 click, totally new randomness timeline. And 3. If the server seed didn't match his hash, you'd catch them instantly, and the internet would burn the place down. So yes, seed rotation is the only theoretical attack surface, but in practice, it's completely neutralized by the system design. If you learned something today, hit the like button, subscribe, and maybe change your seeds once in a while. I'm Mr. Pulte, your gambling tech warlock. See you in Vegas.